to counterplay their tactics very, very well. And I just don't know if it's really going to happen. The Tornado just looked so strong. DiNG needs really to start off really strong, Na'Vi-esque, and not give it away.
Well, Ghost Town looking like it's going to be the first map coming out here. And having a look at the tank lineups, there's nothing crazy out there at this point. Nothing really giving anything away, at least for me. A couple of WZ 111s for DiNG. You can kind of get an indication as to what they do or want to do when they have those two tanks. But here we go. It is going to be the first round of the Grand Finals. Tornado Energy starting off on the defensive side. DiNG on the attack, and we are on Ghost Town. DiNG starting to push forward.
Look at his super aggressive play here from DiNG. Shokic, Goritz going forwards. Huknik is with them as well with Positive. They want to catch off Nesqui. A push from two sides. This is not good for Tornado, actually.
No, not too good, but at the moment, Nesqui, he's trying to get as much damage out before he goes down as possible, but it is not going to be a matter of if, it's going to be a matter of when Nesqui eventually is going to be dropped. And Tornado, they lose the first blood of the Grand Final, so to speak, losing the first tank. And Tornado in a bit of a difficult position right now. They need to trade some damage back. Huknik takes a big chunk of damage, and Diador absolutely wrecking him in that T-57 heavy, but now it's Nuclear that's under the pressure.
Yeah, too far over extension from Huknik in that WZ, costing him his life, but it's not over yet for DiNG. Huknik going down, though, is a big blow towards that team. The WZ is a big part. They've lost Positive now as well. Nuclear, probably the best heavy tank player across all servers, still holding on. That's the kind of player you put in those positions. And near you in that batchat, he's going to be trouble in their side. Server pushing forward as well.
Yeah, this is a bit of a hanging in the balance at the moment, but it definitely feels as though Tornado have been able to bring things back. They've pulled it back, and now the advantage is rested on their shoulders. Elian trying to back up, drew some damage here to Server, who will eventually take down Goritz, and this is putting even more nails in the coffin of DiNG at this point.
And at this point in time, the other also coming from behind is starting to unload on towards Meritorious, who's going to be left on a one-shot, 278 HP, and ammo rack. Shokic goes down in the meantime, and those small individual mistakes are costing DiNG, and it's losing them the first round.
It is definitely losing them the first round. Only two tanks left alive, Elian and Breakneck, and I think this is not a salvageable situation for them. Griffin is a one-shot here for Elian in the mouse, but that's going to be the best possible scenario for him. Eventually, he is going to be dropped here. Diador, full clip loaded, comes around from behind, and there's no worries about that one for him. Tornado, a pretty good performance there early on here on Ghost Town, but again, I feel as though you were right in your prediction there where you said that DiNG, they have the strategies, but Tornado, they've got the mechanics, they've got the skill to be able to take it here to DiNG, and it is going to be starting off with Tornado, the first round there on Ghost Town.
Yeah, that individual play coming out, well, individual mistakes even from DiNG, if you want to put it like that. Huknik really sitting in the open there for not just one, but two T-57 heavies, and that's just really what cost him that round almost. If Huknik's alive with all that HP, Nesqui was dead for sure. The mouses were coming from the side. There was no way he was going to survive that one. Huknik needed to stay alive, because when he went down, it was not just that, right? He had a lot of HP, a full HP WZ, but when he goes down, you have the fact that near you can come in from behind and actually fully clip. Now, if there's three tanks there, it's not going to be that easy, and they're going to have more HP to share as well.
Yeah, have a look at that as well here from Tornado. Both of the T-57 heavies up towards the top of the damage charts, both above 3,000 damage. That is exactly what you want to be seeing when you pick up those tanks. They're there to do the damage, and that is exactly what they did. Things looking a little bit worse there for DiNG, as a lot of their players down towards the bottom half of the damage charts. But in saying that, it is only the first round. Ghost Town can definitely go both ways. It is a map that's fairly common, right? A lot of teams know how to play this, and DiNG should be fairly comfortable on it as well.
Yeah, but this comes back down to the player skill that we were talking about, where Tornado should have the upper hand against the side of DiNG. That's just that individual skill, which is really in favor of DiNG, if you want to put it like that. I mean, Tornado have shown throughout this tournament that they have the best all-round skilled lineup across any region, across any team. They made it work against Na'Vi, they made it work against NSS as well. There was a lot of situations in those games where there was a tank left on 1 or 2 shot of HP, exactly in this match as well. Nuclear, Griffon, Apoa, Diador, they're all not looking very healthy, right? And DiNG, they could have done it, but you can't lose the guns against Tornado, because they're going to keep every single one of them in the game. They need to do the same thing.
Exactly. Tornado just so good at keeping those guns alive. Like you said, being able to just swap the aggression, swap who's taking the damage and keep those guys alive. But that doesn't necessarily mean that DiNG is down and out just yet. Only down for the moment, but only by 1 round. And if it's anything to play for, I mean, really, we have seen throughout this Grand Finals, a lot of these first couple of maps, do tend to go one apiece. But I have to question, if Tornado do get off to a 2-0 start here, is that even going to be too much for DiNG to start to come back? Or do you think that DiNG has to stay neck and neck with them?
To answer your question, it depends. Really just depends on how DiNG is feeling, how they're coming in towards this matchup as well. But I think, looking at these maps, I'd say they would lose this one 2-0 to begin with. Ghost Town is just such a hard map to play. And they dominated against NSS on it, that being Tornado.
Yeah.
They dominated NSS on it. They dominated Na'Vi on it. Now, I don't expect DiNG to be of equal caliber of those teams in terms of player skill.
No.
And Ghost Town is just that kind of map where you need to win those trades, and it's just not happening.
Yeah. When Tornado and NSS did go up against each other, NSS actually did win on their own attacking side, which is the side that Tornado Energy was on the defense, naturally. And that's what we've just seen them pick up as well. So Tornado Energy, they've just won the defensive side. They're moving over to the attacking side, which is the one that they also won against NSS. And, you know, Chain Logic coming out here a little bit, but does make me think they're going to be putting themselves in a fairly decent position to potentially turn this into a 2-0.
I'm not sure about that one. I mean, maybe. We'll have to see, right?
It's always
Ghost Town
hypothetical.
is that one kind of the maps where you could say, yeah, okay, they won this side last time, so they should win it again this time, but it just doesn't always work out in that regard. Because we talked about Ghost Town being our favorite map, even with Randall as well, and we talked about those small differences can make a completely different game. One or two different positions can completely change the game. One shot missed, and you have a different round completely. Therefore, you can't really draw correlations between winning a round one time and winning it the next time, because there might be one mistake that changes everything.
We're about to find out, Daki. 5 seconds or so before the round is going to be underway here. And just having a look at the tank lineups before we do get into it. Again, very similar sort of a lineup coming out here from both of the teams. And Object 416 again here from Tornado. That's what we saw up against NSS when they were playing in their last match in the semi-final. Immediately they went straight for that 2 flag here on the attack. When they did have that tank, they tried to get the cap pressure on early. So I wonder if Tornado is going to do that again, or if they have something else in mind here, because it does feel as though if they go for some similar strategies maybe that DiNG has already seen, that could be putting themselves at a disadvantageous position, because DiNG will know what's coming.
Typical Tornado to bring those mouses. They play very well in them. They always bring a ton of them on almost every single map, including we have seen them bring it on Mines, to 4 of them, where they beat NSS with as well. It's just such a good tank for the players of Tornado. Talking about it, it has good DPM, it has good gun, it has everything. They can make their armor work, they can make the gun work. It's just so good for them. And DiNG, again, knowing that playing standard against Tornado isn't going to work, are changing it up. They've played aggressive over there. Alien already peeks out, gives Near You a shot. Near You takes another one from Meritorious. And this is the aggressive thing I want to see.
And also the important thing here for DiNG at the moment is that both of those T57 heavies are, as of yet, unspotted. And those guys can peek around the corner here, really come in, sting like a bee, disappear, and become a very potent threat to the side of Tornado Energy. A bit of trades coming backwards and forwards at the moment. Meritorious taking some damage, Server taking some damage as well. But Tornado, they do seem to have managed to get their way into that 2 flag relatively unscathed in the grand scheme of things, but Near You a 1-shot now, and this is crucial for DiNG. They need to be able to close him out, because this is the difference between Tornado and DiNG. What we saw in the last round is DiNG was not able to close out those low HP tanks.
Well, right now, DiNG needs to push right in again, because Meritorious is going to go down, and they have only one moment, one overmatch, and they need to take it right now.
Meritorious going down there to Diador, and it's now 6 versus 6. DiNG pushing in here. The T57 heavies, both of them have full shots loaded. Surely Server goes down here. Eventually he should. There we go. Positive. Picking that one up. Tornado trying to push the advantage as well. Apple, Wow, and Griffin in both of the mouses pushing forward here. Hulknik must die right now for Tornado. Such a key moment of the map. Nuclear does manage to find Alien, but the kills are coming across here for Tornado once again.
Yeah, Tornado just showing that individual skill again, taking the good trades. Hulknik there could have done more in his T57 heavy, but Positive is the crucial player right now together with Diador from the side of Tornado. It is this still even. Positive with one clip can make this HP deficit disappear. Griffon should be going down here towards Shockish, but they need to take down Nuclear or Apua. One of those two isolate that T57 and the 416.
At the moment, Tornado still have the health advantage. 4 versus 4 though, so it's still hanging in the balance. Karutz in the AMX 30. Looks like he might be under a bit of pressure here, Diador. Surely more than enough damage in his clip to be able to take down Karutz, particularly with the shot coming out there from Nesqui. And that's a free kill essentially for Tornado. They haven't traded any health for that.
Yeah, Karutz just staying there for too long, costed him his life. Breakneck got away on time, because obviously he's a quicker tank, but Korea should never have been there. Losing that tank is probably the end again for DiNG in this round. Again, those small individual mistakes are costing them time and
Breakneck's
time
going to roll
again.
around the corner here. Nesqui, unspotted. Breakneck, he thinks better of it. He is not a one-shot for that Object 416, so he could turn this corner, take some shots in on Nesqui, but it's difficult to sort of imagine that he's actually going to be able to clip him out without Nesqui at least being able to fall back there. Breakneck decides better of it though, and the cap, 1 minute gone, or 1 minute to go even for Tornado. It's not a major threat right now for DiNG, but it is something that they have to keep in the back of their minds.
Breakneck taking a bounce there even from Applebow. He should be able to pick it up. He needs 2 shots actually to kill him. Positive in the meantime clips out as well. He takes 1 shot, and damage takes 2. That's the 3rd one for Diador in this round. Again, they didn't get the kills they need, and I think he might go down here against Nesqui.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain he's going to eventually go down, whether or not it's now, whether or not it is later. But in my mind now, this round is well and truly in the favor of Tornado. It's really just a matter of time before they clean things up here and turn it into a 2-0. It's going to have to be a mammoth effort from these remaining DiNG players if they're going to turn this into a round win. And Shockish and Breakneck, I'm not sure they have it in them.
Nuclear now pushing forward, closely followed up by Diador. They want to take down that last remaining mouse for the side of DiNG. Diador doesn't connect on the first, will do so on the second, hopefully. Still, no Shockish alive. Diador getting on his side. There we go. 4 kills for this man in this round, really shutting down the side of DiNG. And Nesqui looks to pick up Breakneck with his final kill. Tornado, again, coming out on top.
Yeah, and again, it was a round that was still hanging in the balance. There was a lot of times where DiNG would have been able to pull ahead or could have pulled ahead against a lesser team, but Tornado Energy just far too strong at the moment. 2-0 after the first map of Ghost Town. It's not a good start here for DiNG. It's not what they would have wanted, and it's perhaps not what they needed. They would have needed that 2-0 here to be very, very competitive. In saying that, though, it is only 2 rounds, and we know how quickly this game can change and turn around. Looking at the post-battle stats there, Shockish on DiNG. He'd survived quite a long time. That's why he's up the top there. Really, what you want to look at, Griffin and Diodor doing the damage for Tornado.
Breakneck, 7 shots throughout this round, 0 damage. Hooknick as well in the T57 Heavy. We saw his fight from very, very close, so we saw he did not get the connections that are needed from those T57 Heavies on Ghost Town. They are probably the most important tank. They're the tank that are supposed to make these mouses afraid, and he didn't do that whatsoever. I also feel here Hulknik Positive are kind of slow. They could have done much more damage to those mouses driving in.
Again, it comes down to that same thing that you were talking about, where Tornado is just that little bit better at the mechanics of the game. They're going to be hitting more shots, they're going to be penetrating more shots, they'll be bouncing more shots on their own tanks as well. And that is coming to the fore at the moment, where DiNG is, some of their players are not getting the damage out that they needed. The T57 Heavies and the Batchats, they are there to do maximum damage, and they just weren't able to do that when 2 of your tanks do 0 damage. How do you expect to win the round?
They got very close to it even, but then yeah, you need at least one of those 2 players to show up and perform, preferably Hulknik even, because he just has that higher expected damage even from that T57. We don't see bad shots with the time it takes to really carry. But now, moving forward, thinking about Mines, this is just another map where a 1-1 is usually in order because of the defensive nature of the map and also the strength that Tornado has shown on their defensive side.
Yeah, it's a difficult task ahead here for DiNG, because if that 1-1 does come to the fore, which we expect is going to happen potentially, 3-1, it doesn't make the situation any better here for DiNG. They need to get a 2-0 on any map that's coming up in the pool to be able to pull it back, and even that is only going to pull it back. It's not going to put them at a lead, which is where they'd obviously want to be at this point, but they are going to be heading into Mines with the 2-0 advantage to Tornado. And looking at the tank lineups there, I do see a GW Tiger for Meritorious. So there is an artillery coming out for DiNG.
Again, Tornado going with that lineup of theirs. An Object 416, a double bat, and 4 houses. But nice damage to near you on the crossing there from the side of DiNG. That helps them out just a little bit. Nesqui takes some as well. I wanted to talk about the initial start here coming out from both teams. So this time around, Tornado is sending 2 bad shots across. This is something they didn't do before. Against NSS, it was only the 416 and they didn't get the punish, but now they definitely did.
Yeah, Near, you taking a shot from the artillery there as well. You can see he's got a dead commander, a big deal in a bad chat. I'm not sure if he does have a med kit available to him, but I suspect not.
Breakneck is going to climb the 0 line right now in that bad chat. Once he gets up, this kind of breaks the tactic from Tornado. It's he'll be able to crossfire the middle very effectively. There you can see the man is up already. He's going on to the second stage. He might take 1 shot from Nesqui here. should take one shot.
Nope.
Nesquik not in position to do so. So he's going to be fairly... That's actually really good.
Really, really good for DiNG. And
Really
they started off very well. I mean, near you is near a one-shot, depending on which tank it is. A mouse can one-shot him, maybe not a bat chat, but they've got the artillery there as well, doing work onto server. He gets another shot in. They've got the bat chat up on the boost for free, essentially. Good map control coming out for DiNG at the moment, but Tornado have immediately responded. They've pushed into the hill now, and they're going to try and force the issue onto DiNG. This is what Tornado does that not many other teams do. They push on the defensive side. They take the fight on their own terms.
Yeah, Hookney there on the TVP, trying to make some magic happen. He does not connect his shots though. He's obviously playing against Diator Nuclear, two of the best players on the Russian server. They have taken the hill. Now, the straights here, DiNG needs to win them, or they go for a solid counter push, right? There's two options. They go for a solid counter push, but realistically they got to make this artillery piece work. And server going there, going against Positive, I think this might be the end of him, honestly.
Have to keep an eye on that. Could be dangerous for DiNG, but with Tornado in the position that they're in, I find it hard to believe that DiNG is going to have an easy time of actually making this work. You said you thought that the artillery had to be the key part here for DiNG, but also that player up on the boost needs to get involved. Positive doing a very, very good job here onto server. He almost would have been able to take him down. He's got another chance for a shot, but these pixel shots not working out in his favor. Server needs to keep peaking if Positive wants to find this kill, and I think that Server's well aware that he does not want to go down here, so he's decided not to peek. Baits Positive in forward a little bit, so Positive does take a bit of damage there, and Server will get out alive unless Positive decides to push forward and try and take him down, but the gun depression on the bat chat, not quite enough for him, and so Tornado survived with 7 tanks alive, but DiNG are doing a good amount of damage right now.
Ooh, Positive just about missing, getting 2 shots towards him, none of those connecting, so a little bit lucky there. Those pixel shots, yeah, he had to take them to try and make the difference.
Well, that could have been the straw that breaks the camel's back for Tornado. If he had been able to kill that bad chat, opens up the 1-2 line a bit.
They still have something that nobody else had against Tornado, and they push the middle like this. They have Breakneck on that climb, and he needs to be the man that does a lot of damage from there.
Yep.
The angles he can work are significant. So if we want to see DiNG, first of all, they need to balance this HP they have because they're down. You can't push into mouses when you're below HP of your opponent. So they're going to have to balance that out, right? That's step number 1. This is RT's territory, though. I mean, if DiNG gets the right spots...
Near you, down to 45 HP, another shot coming out from the Artie. And a dead commander on both of the bat chats now for Tornado, also a dead driver for Server. That's not going to be a fun time if you're in a bat chat when you have 2 or 1 dead crew members.
Well, they both have dead commanders, so that kind of means they can't spot anything. They won't know when they're spotted either. Obviously, dead commander means no sixth sense available towards these 2 tanks. Now, this means Nesquik is going to have to be spotting, and Server and Near You are going to have to be very careful, because if they get spotted, they obviously won't know, and that will give DiNG a lot of time to finish them off. Like, Near You is spotted right now. He doesn't know.
Oh, Positive gets the kill there as well. It's an opening now for DiNG. They've got the player advantage. Server's also a one-shot, so this is a very, very real winnable round for DiNG, and the important thing is that they're also on the attack. If they win this round, moving on to the defensive side, maybe a little easier time for them, and they can turn this into a 2-0, but that's all hypotheticals at this point. Meritorious with the GW Tiger P gets the kill onto the bat chat, and now 2 players advantage for DiNG. 2 more guns in the game, a lot more damage available to them, and they just need to close this one out. They cannot allow a round like this to go back over to Tornado when they've got the advantage that they do.
The coordination should be there now between Breakneck and Elian. There we go, a bounce coming out from that Batshot even on top of the hill. Breakneck should be able to finish off Nesquik without much harm. I don't know if he has view range all the way up onto there, if he can see him, but obviously with RD, with Elian, they should be able to coordinate the shots to take him down if he gets spotted again. But this is good for DiNG. This is down in HP, but once they gather up the guns and go for a decisive push, they'll have 2 extra.
4 minutes and 42 seconds left on the clock. DiNG, it's not time yet for them to push in, but they need to be well aware of that time, because 4 minutes can very, very quickly turn into 3 minutes or 2 minutes, and at that point, that's when you're starting to scramble for positioning, scramble for kills on the attacking side. You know that you need to make something happen, and they do need to make sure that that is not going to be an issue for them, because for now, they have the time, but if they get in a position where they have to push forward quickly, that's when mistakes start to creep into the gameplay, and that's when Tornado, with their superior experience, with their superior skill, are going to start to pull ahead.
See Hulknik though starting to move up in that TVP. Needs to make sure he doesn't take too much damage to get into the base, but if he can get there, if he takes that J6, J7 area, it'd be disastrous for Tornado, because look at their positions, all 4 of them on the hill. When Hulknik takes that position, he will be able to shoot them from behind. He will take the initial damage, right, for crossing over, but he has more than enough left to make it work.
He's going to be a real issue here for Tornado as well. Breakneck, have a look at the shot he's got here. The angle is perfect for him. He just needs to make sure that these shots are going to connect. One does go in. I don't think that was from him though. But regardless, Tornado, they've been crossfired now. They're completely surrounded, and DiNG, it's only a matter of time before they start to get the damage across. Here it comes, Griffin down very, very quickly to 751 HP. He's a little bit worse for wear right now. Theodore starting to take some damage as well, as the mouse is now pushing forward for DiNG. Should be enough here to close things out in the favor of the Europeans.
Yeah, there we go. Positive in the meantime cleans up Nesquik. This only leaves these 4 mouses. They are pushing forward because it's their last resort, their last attempt to win this game. But look at DiNG. They're going to be coming from behind. They're going to be coming from everywhere. Hulknik should make his move now together with Positive from behind. They need to get there quickly though before these mouses die, but they should be in full control.
I think it doesn't really matter at this point, even if the mouses go down for DiNG. They have enough health on the pool, they have enough bat chance available, they have the TVP there as well, and Tornado have 3 very, very unhealthy mouses, and then Apple Wow as well. Not looking too hot at the moment either. This should be the first round for DiNG, and at least they're going to be able to keep this one competitive. Karitz, he's a one-shot now. Shokish and Karitz have been doing a good job of just juggling that aggro and making sure neither of them does go down. Breakneck will push forward, take a couple of shots from both of the mouses up there on the hill, but in reality, what does it matter as we see the multi-kill coming out for Positive? Breakneck, he needs just one more shot here into Nuclear, and he will be able to take him down, maybe 2, if the roll is not favorable for him. There we go, and that is going to be DiNG taking out round number 1 here on Mines. 2-1, still the advantage over in the favor of Tornado Energy, but DiNG, they claw one back.
Yeah, DiNG very well played there. You could see Meritorious had a real effect on with that RT play coming out from him. I mean, getting the kill, removing those commanders from those bad shots was very crucial. That bad shot couldn't spawn near you, was trying to make a dash for it back into the base because they know they left an opening. What they probably wanted to do with near you, if you wonder why he was crossing, he probably wanted to go back and do the climb from their side. That would block off Breakneck for most of the game.
Looking at the post-battle stats here, Positive doing a lot of damage there. The GW Tiger P also making an entrance quite high up the scoreboard. Generally, you don't see an artillery doing that much damage, but he definitely had an impact in that one. Really was a key part of that lineup for DiNG, and good to see them being able to pull that round off, and now hopefully that's going to settle the nerves just a little bit here for DiNG. Get them into that feeling like, okay, we can win this game, now let's do it.
Yeah, that first round, very important for, well, the first round for them on the scoreboard.
Yeah.
Picking it up at 7 players alive as well, which is good. It's good for the morale, it's good for the motivation. And we said Mines is going to be a 1-1 map. Defense has become arguably harder throughout this tournament. Maybe DiNG can make it happen, though. That's the question.
Potentially, potentially. When we say a 1-1 map, I, in my mind, envision a 1-1 on the defensive side wins, not a 1-1 on the attacking side wins. So it's a good start there for DiNG to be able to get that first one. Tornado Energy, though, when they did play Mines against NSS, that was a 2-0 in their favor. So lends credence to the fact that perhaps Tornado Energy can pull this one back, but that wasn't very, very close there in the first round of Mines. And so it seems as though guys on DiNG are relatively comfortable on that map.
It was like Jenga, right? You know, the pieces fall, which was the 2 bad shots, and after that they had a lot of HP, but 4 mouses by themselves really can't do that much.
Yeah, exactly. So have a look and see how these tank lineups are shaping up for round 2 on Mines. And again, we will be seeing Meritorious in an M40-43. No artillery on the side of Tornado. Fairly similar lineups again out of both teams, but a Type 5 Heavy coming out here as well for DiNG.
Yeah, the Type 5 Heavy, probably going to be played by Positive. He's been playing it throughout this tournament to put him under the hill to make sure they can shoot if somebody tries to drive up on 0 line. Now, for Tornado, they are doing something like DiNG did, sending near you into the water to spot out Breakneck, trying to find that early damage, but I don't think they're going to be getting any towards him.
Yeah, quick entry into the hill there from Tornado. That's what you want to be seeing out of the attacking side, particularly when they've got 2 bad chats at TVP. You need to be taking control of that hill against this lineup of DiNG, who is very, very slow, admittedly, and can't really contest that. But What they need to be aware of is that M4043, if anyone from Tornado does get spotted out here, you can bet that there's going to be an artillery shell headed in their direction. And that was really the undoing for them in that first round. The artillery did so much work, and Tornado will be hoping that they're not going to allow that to happen again. But have a look at this setup for Tornado. This is not something that you see very often.
Yep, this is, well, they're playing a little bit more, they're playing their setup though, with the AMX 5100. They have played it on mines. We don't see a lot from it from other teams, that's right.
Yes.
But Tornado themselves, they like that 5100. It's a pick we've been seeing more and more from teams, also on Rurenberg, such as NSS plays it there on the defense. It is in essence a good tank as Server loses his commander
again.
Once more. I don't think he has a med kit available, no. Otherwise he would have used it.
He would have used it last round as well if he had one.
Yeah, he would have used it last round if he had it. He doesn't, so back to the 5100 discussion, right? It has a good gun. It has nice penetration for a tier 8. It used to be a very popular tank back in 754, 742. Yep. The 6-shot autoloader allows you to do a lot of damage before you go down. Obviously, look at his HP, 1400, makes him a 4-shot for mouses. They can't kill him. Well, I mean, if they slightly high roll, they can kill him in 3 shots, right? Because of the mouse alpha. But generally, he should be a 4-shot? Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, yeah, on paper. Tornado taking, you know, the worst of the trade so far. It hasn't really been a trade, has it? Because the only damage that has come out has been from that artillery. But what are your thoughts here on Banchats taking, or not taking, the med pack? Because it seems to be something that we've actually seen quite a lot throughout this grand finals, where the commanders have actually been going down quite a lot on the Batchat.
We see a lot of teams play with a medkit because of that. I generally thought as well that the meta would be to bring that medkit. Now, apparently Tornado doesn't feel like that, because we have seen the side of DiNG do that time and time again. But, you know, it's a risk you take because it's not just artillery, right? If you go on towards the 0 line with a Batchat, you are generally only poking with what, Jordan? You're only poking with what on the 0 line of mines? The turret, right? You're only peeking with the turret, which means that you get hit rather often in that, which means the commander dies, or the gunner for that matter. So you kind of need that medkit. Now, both Server and near you not using it is surprising to me. You can see there the setup from near you is coffee, repairs, and an automatic fire extinguisher.
I'm interested that they've got the fire extinguisher there, to be honest, because I think that...
Also, I'd like to correct myself. A 5100 is a 3-shot, not a 4-shot. I knew my math was off. I'm very sorry, Twitch chat. I apologize. Obviously, 490 alpha times 3 is 1470. So it should be a 4-shot only if they low roll.
Yeah.
Before I get corrected on that one.
Okay. Well, I wasn't going to correct you, mate.
I know, but Twitch chat is critical, you know. So
they are.
I'm making sure that I correct myself.
It's a love-hate relationship.
You know, I'm supposed to be the expert. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're supposed to be, but sometimes you fall a bit short. It's all right, mate. We understand. But again, I really have to question these Batchats set up. I mean, I'm seeing these commanders dying a lot more than I'm seeing Batchats get set on fire. So anyway, I think that's a discussion that's been talked to death about for now. It is hurting Tornado at this point. 5 minutes and 58 left on the clock here. Still enough time for Tornado to play with, but they haven't really been able to do anything at this point. They don't have that much map control, with the exception of that hill that they had early on in the piece. But aside from that, nothing has happened here for Tornado. They haven't gained anything in the last few minutes.
They're going to go back to their usual strategy, though, if you're looking at it. This is something they did as well against NSS, pushing 2 mouses down the 1-2 line, trying to overload the defender, because they have to shoot the mouses, kind of, but then they have to shoot the batch shots as well. But last time, they tried to cross with 2 batch shots, this time only with 1. This might have something to do with Breakneck not getting spotted on the crossing, but they should know there's somebody there.
This is very similar to what we saw Tornado doing against NSS when they did play mines. Taking those players all along the 1-2 line. The Mouses, we'll see where they jump off this this 1-2 line. If they drop off the side of the hill here where Applewau is, I think DiNG is going to be expecting this. You can see it. They've already got some shots into Applewau. He's getting lower, but not low just yet. Nuclear a little bit behind. So the synergy at the moment between the Mouses is not quite there. They're very, very split up.
Yeah, they are split up. Alpawa was going by himself. Server got a little bit blocked there, even by near you, and I don't think he's going to make it across. They're going to be very low.
Oh dear, Breakneck takes down Server, and he's still got a couple of shots, even 3 left in this clip here, so if he wants to take some shots at that mouse on the cross, he can certainly do that, but perhaps even a better idea just to peek around the back here and get some shots into the side of Applewau, who surely will be going down after this. He is very low on HP. One more shot from Breakneck will be enough, and there you go, 2 tank advantage now for DiNG. Once more, they're looking very, very strong on mines.
Yeah, a little bit of blocking there on towards Server, but Alone, he was never going to make it across anyways. In the meantime, DiNG is doing what they're supposed to do, pushing up into the middle, negating near you's position on that 0 line. Tornado, this break has worked for them multiple times, but perhaps third time's not a charm in their case.
Potentially not. DiNG starting to really force the issue now, pushing forward into that hill. They want to take this fight, and you can see Positive, he's getting an eagle eye onto that Bat Chat on the boost, seeing if he can perhaps find a lucky shot with the big HE gun that is on the Type 5 Heavy. Do a lot of damage into a Bat Chat. Shockish taking some shells from behind, but he's alive for the moment, and Griffin is under pressure. Shockish fires a shot off there. That's going to give Griffin an opportunity here to peek out, but the TVP, sometimes it can have difficulty penetrating the front of the mouse. It is a low penetration tank, and those first 2 shots not penetrating Shockish. Now it's a 1-for-1. Either of those 2 are a 1-shot, but Positive comes around from the back, and Griffin does get dropped. Nuclear trades 1 back, but still, it's not going to be enough here for Tornado. DiNG have got the guns in the game and the health to play with.
Yeah, but Nesquid's going to pick up Breakneck, and he goes down, but it's now down to a 4v4, and it kind of feels like DiNG's showing the game here. Look at Alien, he's dropping very low in his mouse.
Nuclear very, very low. Meritorious in the artillery here. This shot could be crucial. 269 HP on the mouse. It doesn't have enough damage to take him down. He's down to 83 HP, but still a tank in the game there for Tornado. DiNG, you said that looks like they might have thrown this round, and it does seem as though that may be the case. Nuclear, the guy on 83 HP, takes out a kill, and that's what you want to be seeing here if you're Tornado. I see a little bit of a shake of your head there. DiNG, what went wrong?
Going a little bit over eager even, but yeah, Breakneck had to go forwards as he was going to get focused. Positive there, trying to do the damage towards the other, who gets 1 shot on the way out. He might drop off at any given moment in time. Reeds does a nice connection there together with I think Hooknick in that E4. Actually, Positive was still on reload, so it's not over just yet, but near you is the bane to their existence. That Bat Shot is full HP. He can come off that hill and get behind any of them at any given moment in time.
Yeah, I see the only possible situation that DiNG is going to be able to win this is if the Type 5 Heavy of Positive is able to get a big shot into that Bat Chat, drop him down to a 1-shot. I don't know. But at this point, it's looking so tough for DiNG. They may be able to take down Deodor here, but he's still going to get at least 1 more shot off before he does go down. It's crucial HP that DiNG is losing in that fight. But a kill is a kill, and they'll have to take it at this point. The cap has been started as well by Tornado, so there is a lot to do. Oh my goodness, Holdnick! He set him on fire near you! Oh my god, he's down to a 1-shot now for the T110E4, but it shouldn't be a problem. Near you should close out this kill, and he will do just that. Now it's a 2 versus 3, but Nuclear's on a 1-shot, Near you's a 2-shot, Nesqui's a 2-shot. Unless there's a big roll from that Type 5 Heavy, it's a possibility.
Need to reset right now, though. Positive needs to kill Nuclear, because otherwise he's going to go down. That Type 5 does finish him off. Near you is still on reload, and now Nesqui is left alone with Near you. That penetration from Hooknick on that Bat Chat could be the savior of this round. Nesqui pushing forward.
Nesqui is pushing forward. He's got a full clip loaded, and now the IS-4. The focus of Fire Positive is going to be off the reload very shortly. He will take down Nesqui, and now it's just Near you coming off the reload. He's going to have 5 shells. He will take down Positive. He is not a 1-shot for Karitz, who will do his best, but at this point it looks like Tornado will take it, and that is going to be it. 3-1 after the second round there on Mines, but that was down to the wire.
That was over the wire, if you want to look at it like that. DiNG, they seem so far ahead. Tornado against the ropes, but coming back once more. I think Alien going down there was the crucial factor. That mouse, he had so much HP, but then Hooknick almost brought it back. That penetration from the E4 with HE ammunition, it almost changed it all, but I think DiNG took so long to kill Nuclear. I really feel like he should have died. He was in the open of the cap. I think Positive missed the shot because obviously the cap debris was still there. You obviously have that little bit of stuff in the middle of the cap. I think he missed because of it, and Nuclear needed to be finished by Positive then. who then didn't have a shot ready quickly enough for Nesqui, who did 2 shots of damage towards Goreetz. That made him a 1-shot for near you.
Yeah, very, very good work there as well from Hulknik in the T124. Almost 5k damage coming out from him, but sadly for DiNG, not quite enough. And it will put Tornado at 3-1 the advantage. So we do actually see the 1-1 coming out on Mines. Maybe not the fashion in which we expected, but it was a very, very exciting round coming out there, the second one on Mines. And puts them at still a disadvantage here, DiNG, heading into the third map, which is going to be Himmelsdorf. But this final is definitely delivering.
Look at that damage Hulknik did, though. He did 5k in that last round, just going back on towards that subject. Almost bringing it back for his team, but then you have the likes of Near You, Nuclear, and Diador that really brought their team, carried them through this round. Diador, I don't think he missed a single shot when they were pushing on him in the later stage of the game. I just feel DiNG, they could have won that, and they got very close even because of maybe some misplays from them. They should have arguably won that game.
It was very close. It could have been winnable. Well, it was winnable, really, at that point. It definitely was around, I think, that DiNG should win. I agree with you on that one. But they sadly do not, and it's going to cost them. It cost them 1 round, but it is only 1 round. And again, there's still quite a long story to be told here. The book is only maybe through the first chapter in this grand final between Tornado Energy and DiNG. Heading on to map number 3, it is Himmelsdorf. Tornado Energy at a 3-1 advantage. Looking at the tank lineups here, is there anything spotted out here for you that's really causing an issue, or anything that's maybe unexpected?
Well, DiNG has switched away from that E50M on the attack. We saw them use that against Elevate, that E50 they were using to get towards that J2, J3 position to shoot the crossing. Tornado obviously bringing their object 416 because he can cross 1-2 line very effectively without getting shot by that E50M. Now DiNG, with this bad shot, what kind of play they're going to go for? Because obviously Himmelsdorf that kind of map where you need to track your opponent around the two caps that are available to you. What Tornado doesn't have, though, which we have seen from a lot of teams, is Breakneck didn't actually spot near you. Nesqui takes a big shot there, though. But what Tornado doesn't have is that RT, which DiNG also had. A GW Tiger P that can reset. It's kind of, again, puts number 2 base a little bit more viable as an option.
Yeah, so now that these arty changes have come out, would you say that you're a fan of having an artillery on Himmelsdorf? Do you think it lends itself to the arty, or do you think the meta is still going to be no arty?
On attack, I wouldn't bring it. I didn't really see so much effective shots coming out from them. But on the defense, though, they've been very, very good. They've been able to shoot the tanks crossing K-line, reset the base, and it's a general nuisance towards the attacker.
Well, Tornado losing a bit of HP early on in the piece here. Nesqui has been dropped down to 406. So he's in a spot of bother, and DiNG starting to push forward now towards the rail tracks. They've got a lot of tanks headed in that direction, and none of them yet spotted, though Shokish eventually does get spotted, but near you. He's in the AMX-50B here. On the reload, could he get caught out by DiNG, or is he in a relatively safe position there?
I think they might just about catch him if they keep pushing. They're going to take a lot of damage on this crossing, though. A truck don't even. The server, the other Nesqui, Griffon are waiting for this.
Oh dear, Meritorious. He is the focus of fire right now for Tornado, and we do know that they are very, very good at that focus fire as well. 1200 HP is all that is left on him in that mouse, but it does at least mean that, for the most part, his teammates are untouched. Shokish does take 1 shot here on the cross, but overall, actually, I don't think that's been too bad here for DiNG. Oh, as I say that, though, Ilian, he gets dropped very quickly now, down to 810 HP near you. He absolutely must go down here for DiNG to make this worthwhile, but it doesn't seem as though that's going to be the case, at least for now. Shokish on the reload. Eventually, there we go. Near you does get dropped. Nesqui down to 24 HP. He's a possibility of going down, and again, DiNG do find the first 2 kills of the round, but have they paid too much of the price for those 2 kills?
I think they can make it work, though, because they have that side-scraping potential now from those buildings, which make it very hard for the Tornado Energy tanks to make those connections on towards them. Positive, though, takes a big shot from that E3. Goreetz comes around the corner, not sure what he's shooting at, but he should try and find an angle to flank, or at least put some cap pressure on towards Tornado, because they're just gone safe. They know that they don't need to do anything other than defend. Yeah,
massive health advantage at the moment for Tornado. Goreetz taking a shot as well. In the meanwhile, is going to drop DiNG just that ever so lower. Goreetz just getting around the corner there quickly before Server gets a shot into his back. But this is a tough position now for DiNG to play out from. They need Positive in the AMX-50B to come up with something big here. Breakneck in the bat chat. These 2 guys are going to be the playmakers for DiNG, and Breakneck already has been tagged up a little bit by Nuclear there in the T110E3, taking a shot.
Yeah, that bad shot is not Gonna be happy about that one. Gets
No.
clubbed by E3, removes most of your, well, it removes a big chunk of his HP. Positive tries to make a connection there on towards Applewhile. He should keep his shots because I think they're going to try and find Nuclear. But Nuclear, the player that he is, a player of his caliber, realizing there's the potential there for a play on towards him. He's going to pull back around the corner. This will not leave an overmatch on towards his position. And yes, Tornado, they have only 5 guns left, but DiNG needs to start utilizing the 7 guns they have.
Hawknick's going to have a bit of a peek around the corner here. He does spot out Griffin, but he has not spotted out the other mouse that is lurking down that alleyway. Wisely deciding not to peek at this point. DiNG, you can see them starting to gain control of the map now, though. Tornado forcing back, or being forced back even towards the northern part of the map, towards their own spawn. Is DiNG going to be able to use this map control to their advantage, or really are they just walking into Tornado and the guns that are waiting for them?
I see Shocker starting to push up over here, trying to find an angle, trying to find something that they can work with. He needs to be careful though, because Diador in that E3 is waiting in that C2-3 position. We saw him have a monstrous game against Eclipse where he did the most damage on this Grand Finals. I think it was around 6,300. So it's not a man you want to go head to head with.
No, certainly not. 5 minutes left on the clock here for DiNG. Again, it's not a position at the moment where they're really forced into anything, but it is something in the back of their minds. They've used up half the time that they have allotted to them, and their one advantage is that they have those extra tanks in the game. But Positive, he takes a free shot there, and at this point, DiNG cannot be giving up free shots. They need to, at the very least, be trading 1 for 1, because Tornado has such a health advantage, and even if they don't have the guns in the game, maybe just that health is going to be enough to pull them through here.
Well, Server is doing an amazing job so far in this mouse. Meritorious and Alien are going to start pushing up towards him. The worry for me is that Server has enough HP where he could actually 2v1 these guys. I mean, combined they have about the same as he does. So, well, much less actually. So combined they have less HP than he does. And if he plays it well, he could actually kill both of them.
Server just watching down the angle. Meritorious trying to play with him, trying to bait out that shot, angling the armor on the turret of the mouse there, but Server well aware that he's never ever going to pen a shot like that. So he's holding on to it. And this is, again, just wasting a little bit more of that time of DiNG. Eventually, the trigger has to be pulled by DiNG. They have to make their move.
Well, with 4 minutes left, they have sent Breakneck towards that A0 position. In that bad shot, he could get maybe some flank shots on towards Applewhile, but all Applewhile has to do is to sit safe. Server does take some damage. That was HE even. But it's not going to... No, it was not HE, I'm sorry. It was Koritz shooting him from the side in that WZ. But they need more than this. There's still so much HP down that they need to make find a solid opening on towards Tornado. And what they're bunching up here is for a 1-2 line overmatch. This could work, but there's a lot of HP there still. Double E3. Diador will be a non-factor because obviously he's in that C2, C3 position. But he will just drive out of that, deliver a shot on towards the side, and that's 1,500 alpha from just those E3s.
We can start to see DiNG now grouping up a little bit on that D-line. They have a death ball of mouses, 50B in there as well, a 113 for Hawknick, and they have to push around this corner. They have to try and do something, but they're going to be walking into the crossfire that Tornado has set up. Griffin is there. The E3 of Nuclear is there. There's going to be so much damage coming out from Tornado here. I'm not sure this is going to be a wise decision for DiNG, but they've committed to it. They have to make it work. Positive in the 50B. He's got 3 shots left. What can he do with them? Not a lot, apparently, because there's going to be the first kill going the way of Tornado. Diador very low on HP, but Nuclear finds Positive. A massive shot coming out from him, and now DiNG well and truly in control of this round. The E3 of Diador will get taken down by Shockish, but I think it's too little too late right now for DiNG. Both of the mouses very low on HP for them now, and it's going to be Nuclear taking down Meritorious. 2 minutes and 26 left on the clock here. Tornado should be closing this out from this point.
Yeah, but Applewhile in the meantime is getting focused by Breakneck and Koritz. Breakneck is on reload, so Applewhile going to survive for a little bit more. Koritz is going to try to do the damage towards him. If they could have found a kill there, it would have been an opening. Shockish in the meantime trying to help out. Alien gets picked up by Nuclear. Triple kill for him, and this is the Tornado that we know, that individual skill. Nuclear not missing any of these shots, and that's what we were worried about for DiNG.
Yeah, 3 players left alive for DiNG, but only 1,000 HP between them. Not a lot to play with here. And Applewhile, he's gone searching. He's trying to find Koritz there. In the end, Server is actually going to be able to take down Shockish in the mouse. It's just Breakneck in the bat chat now, and Koritz in the WZ 132. Really, all hope of a win here for DiNG in at least the first round of Himmelsdorf has gone down the gutter.
Yeah, now Breakneck pushing forward on towards Apowow. Not even sure he'll get him on time. He needs 3 shots to take him down, and that IS-4 Apowow is about 2 seconds off of reload. Breakneck doesn't connect the shot. Apowow picks it up, and again, Tornado closing out a round which seemed close. And it's just, they're not winning the close rounds, DiNG.
No, absolutely not. They're not even making those close rounds close. I mean, we're calling them close rounds, but realistically speaking, a lot of these rounds, they start off close, but Tornado Energy is able to close them out fairly comfortably. That one didn't even look close. And so Tornado Energy, they now go 4-1 up. This is starting to look like it could be a bit of a whitewash almost.
Let's not go that far yet, Jordan. It's the grand finals. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
You know, we gotta keep faith. We gotta keep hope in DiNG. They are looking promising. I think they need to change it up slightly, a little bit less individual misplays. I've seen a lot of peaks here and there, which are costing them HP. Breakneck, for example.
Yeah, we saw that a lot there in the mid stages of that Himmelsdorf.
Yeah, those tanks that just keep taking one shot here, one shot there. It just puts them down in such an HP deficit that it's very hard to come back from it.
Yeah, exactly. And Tornado Energy, we haven't seen any of that really at all from them. They have barely been taking any free shots. Every time they take a shot, they trade something back at least. But having a look at the replay of that last round, it was never going to be possible really for DiNG. When they got in this position, they had to push into Tornadoes, and double E3 pushing into that.
This push here, I think it would have almost been more worth it. Yeah, Shokish was on that 1-2 line. I think it was almost more worth it to pull him back, push him maybe with the others, and then have Positive in K1 or K2 in his 50B. If Diodor then drives out of that railway station, which he was positioned in, Positive would be making him one shot before he even gets close to the fight.
Yeah, but that was not the case there for DiNG, and so now they have to go and scrounge for some rounds. This is the last one before the sort of mid-series break, so there is a potential for a reset here to come out for DiNG. If things are becoming a bit of a problem internally, they can take some time away from the game, take 5 minutes to calm down a little bit, but they do need to get through this round, and I've got to say, I think if they do go down here 5-1 in the first 6 rounds, I think that's going to be too much for them to come back from. But 4-2, that leaves a little bit more of an opening for them. So I'm really, really interested to see how this final round on Himmelsdorf does go. Getting into the tank lineups, though, nothing too crazy coming out on the board there.
Yeah, nothing too crazy from DiNG, but I liked what they did in the beginning, first rounds. Now on this last round on Himmelsdorf, going back to that standard, I don't like it. That's why they should mix it up again. Go for an aggressive stance. They've just played very defensive. I think now they kind of need to take it to Tornado, because when you play standard against a team like this, they've trained against this for weeks and weeks, and they have the individual skill and the tactical knowledge, know-how individually to know what they're supposed to do as just one tank to position themselves, but also as a team. They move very well in between each other as a coordinated unit. They don't need that much coordination. They're those kind of players, they can make the move without actually being told. Of course, somebody might be telling we should do this and this, but the players will already be like, yeah, I know, be somewhere in the middle of the move. That's what separates them from the rest. They kind of do. They just, you know, when you see them, it seems so smooth, so in the moment. They always react almost instantly to anything that's happening. You know, you push this side, okay, they've already pushed on the other flank.
Tornado on the attack this time. We'll see whether or not that experience as a unit is going to come off and pay dividends for them here.
Let's find out, though. I mean, Tornado, it is still Himmelsdorf. They still have to attack, but they've already done some early damage on towards Positive. These positions here, the more information you give towards the side of DiNG, towards the side of Tornado, the more they're going to work with that. This IS-4 position from Meritorious, I've never been a fan of that. That IS-4 there, he's gone down more often than he's made it work. We've seen a lot of teams catch him out during the regular season of the WLEU, where teams push 8-line and 5-line at the same time and catch this IS-4. And if you're not in position to counter-push, it's really just a free kill.
And DiNG is not in a position to counter-push at all. They've got a lot of those tanks down on the 1-2 line. So if Tornado do push into that 2 flag, it's going to take a long time for DiNG to push back and rotate back towards the northern part of the map. Still, Tornado at this point don't seem particularly interested in the 2 flag. They are still holding strong, holding steady in their default setup. They've got control of the hill, so they have that option available to them. They can push down the banana here as well. There's not a huge crossfire there for DiNG that is going to punish them when they do cross the banana, but Tornado, as of yet, haven't decided what they want to do here.
Positive gets spotted out again. Diodor trying to make a connection, won't find it. And it's going to be Nesquik, I think, spotting him out now. Positive sees server, though, so he gets some information from that position where he is. There's a little bit of gaps in between the buildings, which means you can shoot, but also you can spot, right? From that position, he can spot out the 8-line rotation coming out from Tornado. If they drive those tanks down there, they can spot it, and Hooknick might get a shot or two.
Here comes the push as well from Tornado. Does seem as though they are going to be committing to the banana line. Nesquik leading the charge in the bat chat 12 Twee, the baby bat, as we've started naming it. Hasn't been spotted out just yet, and Tornado, it looked like they actually wanted to push down the banana, but it seems as though they may have thought better of it.
But they're just waiting. They want to cross it without taking too much damage. Pushing back Hooknick is the way towards that, you know, that mouse over there. You don't want to take early damage. We saw what happened to DiNG when they did. Any shot you give up can cost you in the end. So they're going to try and push back Hooknick from his position. Alien here, the reason why he's not peeking is because he's afraid. They know Diador most likely is going to be on the hill in that E3. Blind shot there on towards Nesquik though. So, I mean, yeah, but if you want to take damage.
I don't mind that actually.
Yeah.
I don't mind Nesquik taking that shot for one of his tier 10 tanks. That's fair enough. Tornado, they've actually managed to cross this quite successfully. As long as they get across this second gap okay, which it does seem as though they will, that's very successful here for Tornado. They've managed to get a lot of map control for very little trade back.
Yep, now comes the question though, how is Tornado going to deal with that meritorious situation? A lot of teams try to deal with it with HE, but they don't have that Japanese heavy tank with the big derp that can deliver massive HE blows. Obviously, Mouses have nice HE as well, it's just going to take them longer, and DiNG is not going to sit around and wait for that play to come out. You can see them already bunching up in A4, A5. If Tornado starts shooting HE, DiNG will move rather quickly towards that corner to make sure to not let Meritorious die. He cannot die in this situation. If DiNG lets Meritorious go down, then the round is over. That's why they're pulling back everybody towards that area.
But that's a very, very good early rotation here from DiNG. They have not been caught off guard. They're reading the play relatively well here. And again, it's going to come down to the individual fighting from DiNG. It's not going to come down to the decision-making right now. It is coming down to those shots that they hit, those shots that they pen. They need to do that better than Tornado, because at the moment, they're in a good position here to potentially be able to pick up a win. They've put themselves in a winnable position. Now it just comes out to the execution.
Here we go. This is DiNG pushing up. The SHE being shot. Nuclear might still have another HE. He did. And now DiNG will push around the corner. Let's see what damage they can do, though.
Big death ball of tanks coming around the corner here from DiNG. Hooknick taking the majority of the damage at the moment, but there is a good spread across those DiNG tanks. But, oh dear, Hooknick down to 730. He gets tracked there as well. Repairs it very, very quickly. But I think DiNG have maybe sacrificed a little bit too much HP with that push than what they would have wanted, because they have got a lot of tanks very, very low now. Meritorious is a one-shot. Hooknick is a two-shot, and really all they have to show for it is a bit of damage over to Tornado, but Tornado definitely looking much, much more healthier after that one than DiNG is.
Yeah, that push from DiNG was never really going to work out with those 250Bs in position for Tornado. Could see Hooknick. The issue with pushing across that gap is that you cannot get your guns in front of each other. Like Hooknick was around the corner, nobody was able to shield him. You could see him trying to desperately try to get back around that corner, and that's the issue. You can't fit too many tanks through that gap. Tornado has the better position to focus fire.
One thing I want to mention here at the moment is Breakneck rotating around through the southern part of the map. Unfortunately for him, he's been spotted out, and Griffin seems to be chasing him down, or at least keeping him at bay. So that could have been maybe a winning play here for DiNG if Breakneck can get through, but Griffin's going to spot him once more if he decides to cross through that church courtyard and potentially even get some shots into him. Here we go, down on the southern part of the map. There is going to be a bit of a confrontation. Breakneck does get across, only taking one shot worth of damage. Karitz has been dropped down to 375 HP, and DiNG, they're floundering at the moment here on Himmelsdorf. Tornado really looking like the better team right now.
Yeah, but there's a little bit of an opportunity here for the side of DiNG. Positive is holding down Diador. Needs to be careful because that Diador shot is going to hurt if the Positive peeks too far. But right now, he's just trying to keep him spotted, but the damage comes out. 686. Karitz now peeking out as well, trying to make a shot towards him. But Breakneck is flanking him. In the meantime, Diador should be dead right here, no matter what.
Should be.
Should be, hopefully.
I don't know if he's going to be at the moment. He's still relatively healthy. Griffin gets away scot-free. Shokish missing that shot. Near you crosses as well. Tornado, a very, very fast rotation over to the one flag. And DiNG, they're caught in all sorts of trouble right now. They're going to have to rotate across in 30 seconds to get a reset. And I just don't know if they're going to be able to do that. It's going to be down to Shokish.
Doesn't look like it's going to happen. A very, very quick rotation from Tornado Energy. Shokish now in trouble as well. Applewhite, he's taking the damage because he wants to shield the cap. 17 seconds left. The tanks from DiNG will not get there on time. Those mouses won't make it, and Applewhite's just blocking Shokish with his tank.
Shokish can literally not do anything. He cannot push past the IS-4. Now he's taking damage. 5 seconds left on that cap timer, and DiNG, I don't believe they're going to get there in time. It doesn't seem as though that's going to be the case. I think that this is going to be the cap out here from Tornado, and it is. It's going to be 5-1 up, the advantage for Tornado at the end of the first 3 maps.
DiNG ever so close, ever so far. I mean, it looks close, but in essence it's not. That's what you said as well. They seem to be getting close rounds, but at one point they just fall off. Here, yet again, it was close, but not enough.
Yeah, and that's been a very, very interesting first passage of play. I'm sure that our lovely friends on the analyst desk are going to have a lot to say about that, so we'll hand it back over to Ryan.
There, Elfish Guy. Well, this is turning into a bit of a slugfest between these two teams. Any kind of advantage that DiNG can bring back into this game, Tornado just slap it down almost instantly.
Yeah, this has been a pretty rocky road for DiNG because honestly the coordination between Tornado guys is almost on animal instinct level. I mean, I thought really 1,000,000% this is it, DiNG is coming back in a game on a mines, but no, and then Niryu has to have the best streak in a game like that in the end.
Diodor in the E3, no surprise to see him absolutely in command on Hamosdorf. This man is a monster when he's in that tank and on this map, absolutely monster. Now our first map started off on Ghost Town, it ended up being 2-0 to Tornado, and during that, Mojo, you were saying, watching the match, oh my god, look at the map control coming out from Tornado.
Yeah, it was really unbelievable because any angle that DiNG was actually trying to play, it was really covered by Tornado. Even in the first map, it was really, really bad. But look at this. This is the mines we were talking about. This is the push that is practically recycled here by Tornado. This was a game 4. This is pretty much a groundbreaking game in my eyes because DiNG knew what they're doing. They were camping. They were trenched up. But look at this. Even with server dead, Applewhite on brink of death, and so on, they are managing to somehow come back in a game. How? Why is this going on? 4,000-5,000 HP advantage.
Yeah, Albert, that was an extremely close game, and it was just near you at the last second that managed to clean that up. It could have gone either way, but DiNG just a little bit sloppy in a couple different places where they just couldn't focus fire and take out tanks quickly enough.
5,000 damage advantage.
Yep, exactly, and just thrown away.
And it was the thing is around just before this, it was exactly what DiNG needed. DiNG just won the first round on maps 7-0. They didn't lose a single tank. They took down everyone off Tornado, and then in the next round they just couldn't seal out. And Mojo, all 3 of us were screaming at this moment for it to end for DiNG. We wanted them to win so hard here.
Yeah, but they are lining up the play, the personal play is so well done by Tornado. The selection of targets, sacrifice of HP when needed. I mean, this is done to the second. They are timing the reload of Niryu together with sacrifice of 50, 100. They knew when with the positive have the shot, they knew what will happen. And Niryu knew he has exactly chance when he finishes positive to take one shot from Koritz and finish the game. Prior to that, he finished an E4 on the top of the hill with his very last shell. If he missed it, they would actually lose the round. That's how close it got.
196 HP being all that was left on Niryu at the end. You can't ask for really a closer situation. And I mean, from when they looked like they were coming back into it, then we went into Himmelsdorf, and again it just seemed like a bit of an uphill struggle. But I mean, tactically here on mines, they were just outplayed, weren't they?
I mean, you should better actually watch on the map what happened here, because that will explain quite more. That's why I was so shocked why they didn't lose. I mean, guys, come on, look at this. This is really already established. They knew from the previous match that they will push a mouse. This was not even well synced. One mouse went this way, one little here. Barchat was annihilated on the way there, completely. Only advantage they really had is this Barchat, who could roam, climb up and play from the back if he wanted and do whatever they want. And let's unfold this a bit. IS-4, ready to shoot in this direction. E4 ready to shoot, Bachat ready to clip. These guys from the base can shoot both up here and in the water. Entire team is ready for this. They're supposed to win. Everything is lined up. How did it end up this way?
Just
Unbelievable. Look at this already. 2 tanks gone. This is supposed to be a checkmate. But only difference is these guys play like really on animal instincts. This guy here, this guy here, this guy here. Coordination all over the map, and they're turning it.
You have to remember what I said earlier about this, because getting hung up in that area is too... It does not work out, because one, this Batchat, you already pointed out, has shots onto the hill entrance right here. This mouse down here, after he takes out the Batchat, he has clean shots onto the back here. And that's where they really started to bleed HP as well, along with this 5100 who had shots through this direction. So with all those different angles, and DiNG just with the big, slow, heavy tanks could not get out of there fast enough.
We are talking about 1 tier 8 tank and 4 tier 10s taking on entire team who is practically unscratched except Breakneck, who is maybe on 50% HP. This is really unbelievable how this game actually went. And how did they lose so much HP? I don't know. What do you need to do to Tornado to make them lose the game easily? Like, you need to go strike, and then you need to keep them your eyes on them and kill like 3 or 4 members, and then, okay, we are doing it.
And one other thing to point out here is after we just watched like another minute go by with all that, and look where these tanks are still sitting, still bleeding HP.
It's not like they can move anywhere, you know. Well, they are pretty much stuck because they're getting shot in the back, they're slow, they managed to kill the TVP, but there is mouse and so on.
They realize that they're surrounded at this point. What you do when you're surrounded, you have to pick a direction and go.
Go for it, yep, indeed. It seems like, I mean, we were talking about this earlier on, whenever you kind of take a round from Tornado, let's be honest, all you kind of do with Tornado is you annoy them, you kind of piss them off, to be a bit honest here. Like, it's like we were joking about earlier on, James. It's like, you know, if you're in a sparring match with a professional boxer and you kind of give him a bloody nose a bit, the guy's going to be like, whoa, like, I'm going to show you how to really actually swing a hit. And it's a bold move. I mean, every team that's...
It's like a bee. You know, you kind of flick at it, it gets mad, and just comes back and stings you.
Every team that's taken rounds off Tornado or looked like they were going to go on ahead of them, Tornado just shut the door on them hard. And going into Himmelsdorf, I mean, the brawls we had on Himmelsdorf, Mojo, you said here on the rail tracks, you went, oh my God, pretty much everyone is shooting at them right now.
This is because there was a pure recycle. DiNG actually recycled the tactic they already used, same as Tornado, but with much less success, as we saw. Look at the fire coming in these mouse tanks. I mean, they're getting annihilated. Mary is already on 3rd HP, and the rest will not do much better, while with sacrifice only of HP of a light tank. Yes, they knew they will lose at 50B. He's in a dire position down there, but they sacrificed him literally, intentionally. I think they really knew what will DiNG do. They read them right there and then. They sacrificed one tank they thought they will not happen, and they made advantage of 3000 HP.
Me and Randall talked about it a lot last season, where it comes down to what we call paying a toll, giving up HP to get in position to try to maybe make something of it. And in this case, they give up 4,000 to 5,000 HP, and they couldn't really make anything of it. Yes, they got the 50B down, but every day of the week, Tornado's going to say, yes, we will take that money every single time.
Yeah, I mean, and the way it worked as well is DiNG got the first 2 kills, but then the focus fire coming back out in Tornado was insane. We talk about guns in the game so many times, but guns in the game is only effective when you also have the HP. If the enemy team has the HP, you can't use that.
If you think about mines, that's actually not the truth, because they didn't have guns nor HP, but they won. Effectively, this they could do because it's a map that you can control both caps from, and litter surfers covering each other. That's what won the game.
Okay, now the action is still going on here on stage. It is still a hell of a lot to play for DiNG, but it's also a hell of a lot of struggle. Don't forget, you guys can still participate in the quest system. You have the potential to win premium tanks by doing so. Just simply go to your local World of Tanks portal, and that will have all the instructions there for you to follow. You can also join in on social media. You can use the hashtags WOTGF2017, or you can use the hashtag WatchPlayWin. Send your predictions in for the match. If you're here in the audience, send us a picture. Just sit back and enjoy the show, guys. We still have more rounds to go, so it's time to go over to Killzor and Elfish.
Cheers, Ryan. More rounds to go. I wonder how many more. That's the real question for me.
Come on, Jordan. You can't do that to me. We think it is going... Well, I think it's going the distance at least. You already seem to have lost faith in DiNG. Well, I'm not about to give up that quickly. Prokhorovka coming out, solid 2-0 map for DiNG, then another 2-0, and another 2-0 to finish it off. 6 straight rounds, I believe, and so should you.
I do believe now. You filled me with confidence here. I think the momentum's going to be strong enough for DiNG, but in reality, I don't believe. I don't believe that it's going to be a 2-0 and a 2-0 and a 2-0, and we're going to see DiNG back.
How can you fail?
I would love to see it. I would absolutely love to see this go all the way, but honestly, the way that Tornado Energy is playing right now, I think that they're just going to be far too strong for DiNG, and I think this is going to be closed out.
If they win this, I'll still dye my hair blonde, Jordan, so you better hope.
Your hair already is blonde.
No, it's not. How is it blonde, Jordan? How does this work out exactly?
You have blonde hair, mate.
What are you talking about, Jordan? What are you... Okay.
Okay.
Back on track here.
How blonde do you want? Like white?
That's not blonde, that's white, Jordan.
Whatever.
But now, back on track. Prokhorovka coming out between DiNG and Tornado. We saw Tornado on Prokhorovka against NSS. A fairly solid performance, if you want to call it like that. At 2-0. Close rounds in essence, but again, that player skill from Tornado just came out ahead of the skill from NSS. Now, I'd say arguably DiNG has maybe a little bit less than that of NSS or an equal level. Will they be able to take it? I don't know. Looking at these lineups, it's very, very standard from Tornado. Heavy as always. They just love those heavy tanks.
Yeah, and they do a good job in them as well. So, a couple of 113s, in fact 3 113s coming out here on Prokhorovka, some WZ111s as well. That is a very, very heavy lineup. Like you say, only 2 bat chats on a map like Prokhorovka. Is that going to give them enough mobility, or is that going to be maybe their undoing here?
Well, their typical Tornado style, they're going to go towards the middle with everybody. DiNG is doing the same thing, so we're going to have an old-fashioned brawl here in the middle, Jordan. It's going to kick off rather soon, rather quick, and we will see if DiNG's player skill can finally win against Tornado.
Breakneck going for the scouting run there. Does take 1 shot for his trouble, but not really nothing to be too worried about. Hulknick, he gets absolutely wrecked in that bad chat. He's lost his commander as well, so his impact on this game is potentially going to be down and out already. Karit's being focused now as well by Tornado. What a fight coming out here between the 2 teams. Breakneck does drop Apple Wow, but that's a tier 9 tank here for Tornado, and 2 kills come quickly in response for Tornado Energy. DiNG, this does not look good at all. 4 tanks against the 6 that Tornado has still alive. Now Shockish the focus of fire, and you can just see the difference in skill level between these 2 teams. As I say that though, DiNG do find a couple of quick kills, but is it going to be enough here? Because Tornado, they seem to be 1 step ahead of DiNG right now.
It's not going to be enough, because look at Tornado. They still have 3 of those single shooters alive. Hulknick not surviving in the beginning is the downfall for this team now. The autoloaders are out. Breakneck positive, they're trying to run away, so they lose Meritorious, and this leaves Tornado with 4 tanks left standing. Yes, Nesquik is low, but they're all single shooters. They'll chase these bad shots down.
Yeah, there's going to be no problems at all here for Tornado to end this one out. A cheeky little ram coming out there from Griffin as well. Positive, he is off the reload, but at the end of the day, it is going to be too little too late for him. He does get the kill on Nesquik at this point of the game, though. What does it really matter? Breakneck 1v3, 2 113s to deal with, and a bad chat. It's not possible.
It is impossible for Breakneck. He's just going in again. DiNG just ever so slightly making more mistakes than Tornado, who pick up that round, and that will be match point for Tornado Energy. And let's just hope for everybody here, everybody watching at home, and everybody in the audience that DiNG could show us more than what they've done so far, because it's not looking good. And let's go back at it, Jordan. Let's think about it. Hulknick, a bad shot, 5 shots, does only 1. Griffon, near you, come in, deliver 5 shots to the side of DiNG. They remove those single shooters quickly. They don't even care about Positive and Breakneck. They just focus down the single shooters from DiNG, remove them from the game, and then you're left with bad shots.
Have a look at here at the post-battle stats. 113s, bat chats there, all up the top for Tornado. Positive, he got some damage done, but this is the other side of the story. Hulknick and Karit's 0 damage
How
done.
did Karit's do 0 damage? That's another question. He didn't even shoot.
I don't know. You tell me. But I think the Russian fans here in the arena are going to be pretty pleased with how this one has turned out. Now, Daki, you were fairly confident before that round came out. I want to ask you again.
DiNG is playing with their food. You know, you bring your opponent ever so closely to victory.
Are you sure it's not Tornado that's playing with their food?
It's like arm wrestling, you know? You let your opponent get ever so close to winning, and then when he looks at your arm, it's the moment you turn it around and beat him. That's what DiNG is going to do.
I wish I could share your confidence at this point, mate, but I'm unfortunately going to have to be siding with Tornado Energy on this one. I think this is going to be well and truly wrapped up. Maybe not this round, maybe not the next round, but I don't see DiNG coming back from a deficit that is 6-1. Would be a miracle run for them if they were able to do it, and we'll find out if they can, but we'll be heading shortly on to the second round of Prokhorovka. What we just saw from Tornado Energy, though, that was an awesome performance of individual skill, teamwork as well, focus fire. Everything seems to be working like clockwork right now for Tornado.
Yeah, man, that's scary. It's very scary when a lineup like this dominates throughout an entire grand finals, but it's not over until the last tank of DiNG dies in this round. And that is gonna be hopefully what DiNG does, survive throughout this game or kill everybody from Tornado. I believe they're bringing this Yak Panzer. Again, it's worked for them before. Not the Yak Panzer itself, but the scare factor of that tank coming out. He did one shot of damage last time they played it, but the scare factor was enough to scare Na'Vi away from the original strategy.
I don't know if it's going to be enough to scare away Tornado Energy at this point. I think they're going to be rolling in with as much confidence as they need. It doesn't really matter what you throw at them. I'm predicting Tornado Energy to come out of it with a win. Near you, just going for a bit of a spotting run here, pushing forward in the back chat in the bush. Very, very good for spotting some tanks out. Now, Karitz, did he go unlit before he went in that bush?
He was lit it when he drove into that bush, but I don't think it's going to matter much. The Tornado seems to be rolling in the deep, and DiNG could have it all available towards them here. Could be Tornado just walking into the trap here that DiNG have set, but I don't know. I always feel like Tornado's one step ahead. Some shots coming out now, though. Tornado taking a lot of damage, but immediately Karitz gets dropped to a one-shot. He's not dead yet, and that's what's important for DiNG. He's still a bit of the focus of the fire right now for Tornado. Eventually, he does get dropped. It's a good start there for DiNG in the fact that they've got the damage out, but they do lose the first tank. Well, Meritorious is just about to reload it in that Yak Panzer, and he removes Nesqui in that WZ. That's that heat ammunition. 420 penetration coming out. Nesqui didn't even have to be set on fire. He just went down, and this is not a good push for Tornado.
Yeah, but they're going to try and make it work. They have no other option. They have to continue the push forward, and they need to turn things around. Meritorious very nearly off the reload here. He's down very low on HP, but he will get at least one more shot off. A big one right into the face of Nuclear, who is now down to a one-shot and now dead, as Holknick will clean him up. Tornado, this is a failed push. This is a failed round. DiNG should be able to pull this one through at least and hang on for at least one more round.
DiNG showing us how that Yak Panzer strategy is supposed to work. Meritorious removing gun after gun from the side of Tornado. The initial damage was there with Breakneck clipping out as well. Yes, Kuritz went down for that, but sacrificing a T-Raid for killing two tanks pretty much is going to be worth it. And DiNG, they look hungry. They look to close out this round in quick succession, and the next five.
The next five as well. Well, let's hope so, at least, that they can pull it through to a more close result here. But 2 rounds now for DiNG. Well, when they clean this one up, it's better than nothing, and it could be the start of something.
Let's bring ourselves down a little bit. I know it's exciting.
I'm already down. I think you're the one that needs to be brought down
Jordan,
a bit.
Please. You're making my heart burn here.
I'm the realist, not the dreamer.
I thought we had something going as Positive picks up the final kill of the first round on Prokhorovka. Will make it 6-2. But Jordan, you're hurting my heart, honestly. I thought throughout this event we grew to be a unit. Two people that have bonded together, synced, you know, grown towards each other, become a unit.
Yeah.
A team, even if you want to put it like that, and it feels like you've just separated yourself.
I still remember all those times you bullied me about the APAC team, so now it's time
Well,
for
I
me
don't
to
see
bully
any
you.
APAC teams in the finals.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to be seeing a DiNG team in the final for much longer either.
Well, at least they got to the final, right?
Well, if you're not winning, you're losing.
But I don't remember any APAC team in the semifinals, even for that matter.
Oh, see, I feel like we've taken a turn for the worse now. Maybe DiNG's going to be taking a turn for the worse as well next round. Prokhorovka is done and dusted. It's one apiece there for Tornado Energy. They're still sitting at a 6-2 lead. Very, very difficult for DiNG to come back from this one.
Yeah, but mines between these two is going to be an interesting one. Tornado obviously has Cliff coming out. Excuse me on that one. Cliff. They just look the same. No, they don't. But Cliff coming out between these two, with Tornado going to be attacking first. Now, there is an opportunity for DiNG to pick up at least one more round on the defensive side. But again, Cliff is one of those high-skill individual maps. Those bat shots, you need to hit every single shot, because if you don't, then you just get out-traded.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm pretty excited to actually see Cliff coming out here because that aggressive push that we saw there on Prokhorovka from both of those teams makes me think that they both want to go for a bit of a fight. And Cliff, it sometimes does lend itself to that kind of a round. If both teams have the inkling that they do just want to run in there with a bunch of bat chats and take a brawl, they can definitely do that.
Yeah, they definitely can, Jordan. I was just enjoying the reaction to your to the APAC discussion we had.
Yeah.
Feels like you definitely got the worst out of that.
Oh, rubbish.
But yeah, DiNG coming out on Cliff. Against Oops, they had a decent showing on it, I'd say. I mean, they got kind of lucky on their attack with Insane flipping himself in the bat shots. I don't think Tornado Energy is going to be doing that, while Apowow is rhetorical. It's known for getting stuck, not flipping himself though, and I think they've removed all those areas where he could possibly get stuck, so I think Tornado should be fine.
Maybe he'll find a way.
Apo always finds a way.
Potentially, he may find a way to win the Grand Finals 2017 as well. Tornado Energy, they just need one more round. That's what they need, 7. They're on 6, so it's still just one round away, but
I feel
how
like
much longer is it going to last like that?
Will always be just out of reach. When DiNG comes back, takes round after round, brings them to tiebreaker, and they bring the trophy home, then Jordan, then we'll have seen everything. And I don't believe in it, actually.
I was going to say,
that's so unlikely.
I love the optimism, but in all honesty, being realistic, Tornado's definitely in a driver's seat right now. That's not to say it's impossible here for DiNG, but how does DiNG actually go on Cliff, generally speaking?
Well, they've tried a lot of aggressive style against Oops, but that might have something to do with the fact that the teams played against each other so often, so they didn't bring their standard tactics. Now, against Tornado, they might be falling back into more of a standard. They do like that German light. Positive been playing it very well, and that HE ammunition really does the job as well. We do, especially against bad shots.
Lorraine 40T as well here, by the looks of things, for Koritz. Just about to get underway on the first round of Cliff. We will show you the tank lineups. Here we go into what could be the last round, could also not be the last round. But nothing super out of the ordinary there. Nuclear has picked up something a little interesting though.
Yeah, the latest addition to the German heavy tank tree.
Yeah.
That it's a good heavy. I mean, I kind of like it in essence. It has a good gun. We saw Navi play it as well on Morovanka. It can work. Its armor is also very hard to punch through, especially for bad shots. A lower plate is almost impossible to get through. He needs to be pretty much facing towards you to get those penetrations. So when he gets into the fight, it's going to be a struggle bus for DiNG. So I feel like they might be trying to do the initial damage towards Tornado.
Potentially. Nesqui going for a cross. Not going to be punished for it at all. No damage coming out just yet from either of these two teams. And having a look at the initial setups, the initial positions from both of them, I don't think either of them have really won the day at this point. They're both looking fairly standard across the board, though Tornado, there is a bit of movement coming out from them here.
Yeah, initial damage, though, from DiNG on towards Griffon. Server took some too. Shokic has taken that 1-2 line control, and we can usually see him playing over there with maybe binos. Not this time, though. Sometimes bad shots on that side have binoculars available towards them to spot that climb that a lot of teams go for, but Shokic is not going to be having those on this round. You can see already the reaction from Tornado is going to be going a little bit around that eastern hill, but they need to be careful because DiNG could have taken the hill while they weren't watching.
DiNG has pretty much taken the hill as well. Not quite yet, but it's a very, very quick run up there, and they should be able to do it if need be. Tornado, though, starting to gain control along the eastern coast of the map. Griffin and Server pushing forward. Breakneck, unsurprisingly, he's climbed up at the back of the map in the TVP. Always such a dangerous position for the attackers. They really need to sniff him out and figure out where he is, be it a TVP, be it an STRV that's in this position, or be it the Grill 15 back in the old meta. Always such a key tank.
Alien there takes one shot from Griffon from that position, but he will be fine for now. Near you and near you and Server, actually. Theodore is a little bit further behind. Are starting to make their way up on that hill to the backside. You can see that Near you and the TVP over there, and Server in the bad shot.
It's a really good position there that Alien is in as well. Can cover off that 2 flag very, very safely from pretty much everywhere else on the map. So he's going to be an important player here for DiNG as well. That's just another piece of the puzzle that Tornado need to dislodge.
Hulkling took a shot there from Griffon. Obviously, he was unspotted. And look at that, Jordan. Hulknik has lost his commander. Now in a position like this where you're supposed to be spotting, he's not going to be doing a lot of that, is he?
No, certainly not. And Tornado now going for the climb up the back of the lighthouse, and they will take control of the hill. I feel as though Tornado slowly but steadily are gaining control of the areas of the map that they need. But still yet to actually commit to any sort of a push. They need to find the damage onto Breakneck in the TVP. There's a blind shot that does actually connect with him, but the other three from near you don't go anywhere near him.
So more damage being done though now on towards positive in that German tier 10 life. Shokish takes a shot as well. This is going well for the side of Tornado so far. They have traded back everything they took and more.
DiNG a little bit worse for wear. Not in the worst possible situation. It's not like this is anywhere near over just yet. DiNG have got a lot of HP to play with still. Near you gets spotted out, takes a shot for his trouble. But again, he just backs off. So it's been a trade of damage, but nothing too crazy.
Look at that HP. Look at it. Just because of that German tier 10 heavy tank. Oh, Nesqui.
Oh, Nesqui. That's not good for him at all. 341 HP. I'm not sure what's going on there, but he's gotten absolutely wrecked. And now this could be potentially the opening that DiNG need to secure another round. If they can push forward there, take him down. They don't know that Nuclear is there covering him off, but they have to suspect that someone is going to be there to give him a bit of a hand and not give up that tank for free.
Yeah, great play there from Shokish in that bad shot, catching him out, doing the damage towards him. I think Helion came in with a shot as well from that middle position, peeking over. Obviously, it has great angles, but look at that. It's Applewab, Diator, and Griffon. Nuclear is there as well. It's the big rotation coming out from Tornado, but Breakneck has relocated as well. Kuritz is there. Will DiNG have enough to hold on? That is the question. If that German tier 10 goes first, Breakneck needs to make sure not to clip on towards him. He needs to keep the shots for the bad shots that are going to come behind him. Same for Shokish, actually.
Yeah, Shokish is going to be a key player here as well. Still, the Tornado tank's not yet spotted, but now comes Nuclear, and the shots still not yet let loose by DiNG. So they're playing this one smartly. The patience is potentially going to pay off for them, but as of yet, the kills not coming across. The damage, though, is coming across for Tornado. Kuritz is down to a one shot. Now he's dead. Not sure why he stuck around for that long. Breakneck does trade one out onto Griffin. Overall, favorable there for DiNG, but they do lose another tank, and that might just be a little bit too much for them to deal with now. Server down to 32 HP. All the control of the map in the favor of Tornado. They've got control of the hill. They've got control of the 1-2 line, and now just a matter of time before they clean up DiNG.
Well, Alien is pushing in though with a fully reloaded Batcha. This is what they need. Take down Nuclear, take down that heavy tank that they would not be able to deal with otherwise. They have the timing right now. Alien, there a nice connection on towards that gunman, but it is a reach block for that tank. He picks him up, and this puts it back into a 4v5, and still in the favor of DiNG, I'd say, though, because of the HP.
Perhaps I spoke too soon. DiNG definitely not looking like in the worst position right now. I thought that Tornado was going to close it out then and there, 7-2, but DiNG, they still survive for the moment. But this has been the difference between the two teams. Right now, when the going gets tough, when it comes down to those clutch situations, when every shot matters, that's where Tornado goes one better over DiNG.
Yeah, but right now, I'd say for once, DiNG is actually in a much better position because of defending. 4 minutes left. I think Breakneck should be doing the rotation right here from that TVP. He's no longer needed in that 1-2 line. He should be going back towards the likes of A5, A6, somewhere around there to cover off Hulknik because they are defending. And Tornado no longer has... Whoa, positive! Risky peek, but picks up Server. Great play there.
Worth it. Can't fault him for that.
Yeah, but what I was talking about is that they have to attack with less HP on towards the defender. On Cliff, it just generally doesn't work.
Potentially can work still here for DiNG. Now 4 versus 4 with that kill coming out. Tornado at a health deficit, albeit a very slight one. Across the board, it's 4 tier 10s against 2 tier 10s and 2 tier 9s for Tornado. And DiNG on the defensive side, you mentioned that earlier, it is very good for them that they're on the defensive side. It means that they have a bit more of a relaxed time here. They can allow Tornado to come to them. They don't need to take those risky peaks. It's up to Tornado to win this one for themselves.
Applewab is now starting to flank around though. He needs to be careful because Breakneck is in A5. There's nobody right now from Tornado that is in position to punish that. Usually we see tanks on top of the hill that can do the damage towards the likes of Breakneck. But Near You is so far back, Hulknik is not going to let him shoot on towards his team.
Ooh, Near You takes a shot there from Hulknik, I think it was. Hulknik, he's in a bit of a difficult position here. The pixel shot's coming out from Applewab. He doesn't really have much of another option. And he's hitting them. Hulking down to a one-shot. Needs only one more, does Applewell, but he's going to fall back. Still a lot of big damage coming out from Applewell there in the Batchat AP.
Yeah, Apoao doing great in that Batchat AP actually.
Oh, another shot.
Ooh, he has one more available. Nearyu has 3. I don't know about DiNG. I don't know if positive going there is going to be the best option for them. I think Breakneck right now should be going to help them because they're in trouble.
This is what I like as well about the Batchat AP. You can take shots like that and hit them as well. Positive, the only player left alive up on that hill now as we see an exchange of kills coming across. 2 versus 2. Elian is down to a one-shot. Breakneck needs to do the job here for DiNG, but there's 2 minutes left for Tornado to work with. They've got a Batchat and a Batchat AP. The Batchat AP on the reload, the Batchat with only 2 shots left in the clip. And this is really coming down to the wire once more. Elian's a one-shot Diodor. He really wants to come in and get this frag. Maybe he's going to Goomba stomp him, and he won't need just that because the shot does come out. But is he going to trade his life for it? More than likely the answer will be yes here because Breakneck comes in for the trade.
Breakneck needs to run away right now and get despotted because Apoa's going to come on the chase. Breakneck has enough ammunition to kill him once he comes off reload, but Apoa needs 3 shots just about to kill him. So Apoa versus Breakneck, but Breakneck technically is in the better situation. If Apoa catches him first though, that's it, that's done and dusted.
It could really come down to who gets the first shot out here. Applewell, I think he's just gone a little bit too late. The timing so crucial here right now for Breakneck. He may just survive. Still 1 minute left on the clock here for Applewell, and he can catch that TVP if he scurries around the corner here, but it's really going to come down to the final seconds of this last round.
Breakneck now back over around the corner. Apoa still trying to chase, but Breakneck is in the advantage now. He's been despotted for a while. Apoa does not know where he is. Apoa, when he peeks over there though, Breakneck needs to be the first one to react.
Applewell, he spots him out. Breakneck looking in the correct direction. Applewell now takes a shot.
Apoa needs only 1 shot.
Won a shot. 38 seconds to work with here for Applewell. He's got enough HP to take the shot. It's a low roll. It's a low roll. Breakneck survives for 1 more shot. And Applewell still has 30 seconds.
Breakneck's on reload right now. 25 seconds left. Breakneck
Does Applewell know it?
No, he doesn't. Apple needs to come off though. He's going to come around the corner. He should have this. It's going to be Tornado.
Tornado should close it out here. Applewell, he cleans it up. That's going to be that. Tornado Energy 7-2 over DiNG in the final, and that will mean that Tornado Energy are the winners of the World of Tanks 2017 Grand Finals.
Tornado, they deserve this. They have worked an entire year towards this moment, and once more, they have shown everybody what kind of a dominant team they are. They've had the hardest road throughout this tournament, beating the likes of NSS, beating the likes of Na'Vi as well. Everything they got, they deserve. They deserve to be in this final, and they deserve to be the grand champion as well.
They certainly did look like the best team throughout this tournament. They have looked very strong throughout the past year as well. This competition, it's been tough for DiNG, but they have to hold their hands and hold their heads high as well after that one. But really, it is today the day of Tornado Energy.